and the wheelman here in full dad garb. Boots, got the hat, got the hoodie, got the sweater, and I got the car. I got the van actually. This is the 2021 Toyota Sienna. It is the ultimate dad slash mom, say family car. And for 2021, it's all new. It's hybrid only. Comes in all-wheel drive and front-wheel drive. Lighter than it used to be. It's stiffer than it used to be. They've used some cool materials and various panels to kind of bring the weight down a bit, because when you add all-wheel drive and a hybrid drivetrain, you're going to add a lot of weight. So lots to like about this on the outside. We're going to have a look at some of the kind of quirks and bits and bobs that are going on inside this, and there's a lot to talk about with regards to the interior of this Toyota Sienna. This is just a quick look at some of the interior stuff, what's going on, quick discussion of the styling, full review of the Sienna coming to my YouTube channel soon. Right now I'm embargoed, so I'm not allowed to talk about any of the driving dynamics. We'll get to that soon, and when that video goes live, I'll link to it right here, I guess, somewhere. And you can have a look at that video then. But for now, let's have a look around and inside the new 2021 Toyota Sienna. Before we get inside the car, before we look at the various storage features and so on, a quick note about the styling. Of course, the minivan is not the most popular style of vehicle anymore. They've very much been kind of replaced by the three-row crossover when it comes to family moving. Toyota is still big in the minivan game, though. The Sienna does sell well for them. And so for this new one, they've said, you know what are we going to do to appeal to the younger buyer and stuff like that might want to get back into minivans? Well, for starters, let's work on the styling. And from this rear three-quarter, it's kind of tough to tell in the darker vehicle, but there's this really great kind of fender flare through here, which is really cool. Reminds of the new Venza, which is also a pretty good-looking vehicle. We've got this really cool shaped headlight here that's LED. We've even got a small spoiler there on the back tailgate, which you can kind of see, which is kind of funny. So from this angle, there's some cool modern bits, and the spoiler at the top as well. There's some cool modern bits to make it a little more appealing to the younger buyer. Let's go have a look at the front end and to see more about how Toyota is trying to kind of, I don't know, add some coolness, I guess, to their minivan. So back looks cool. From the front, again, this is styled to look like the Japanese bullet train. Not my words, that's Toyota's call, not mine, otherwise known as the Shinkansen. And so the way to do that, I guess, is they've given it this kind of very kind of rounded front end here, which is more aero. You've got the kind of very angular headlights here too, slightly bulbous hood, and that's kind of where you see some of that inspiration happening. That's what they say. I think it kind of looks like what's actually called the Toyota Alphard, I believe, which is kind of in Japan. They've got these vans that are sized like full-size vans, like a Ford Econoline or a full-size Ford Transit, for example, but they look like minivans, and the Alphard is one of the coolest looking ones with a huge grille and crazy headlights. This kind of has some of that going on, the crazy rear splitter you can see here, plus you've got the blue Toyota logo, of course, this is hybrid, these all are. So kind of a cool looking front end, plus the headlights very Toyota Corolla-esque, which I think is one of the better looking compacts in the market today. And surprisingly, those headlights have transitioned well to the bigger schnoz, if you will, of the Toyota Sienna. Nice wheels too, although they could use a little more styling, but if that's what you want, there is an XSE model coming. That's their sport model. That's right, a sport model of the minivan that has 20-inch wheels that are blacked out and look pretty badass. Hopefully I'll get a chance in that vehicle next year. I'll do another video then when we'll see it, but if you want some more glitzy rims, you can get that with the XSE. However, those 20s are only available with front-wheel drive, because Toyota says if you do it with all-wheel drive, it adds too much weight, so smaller wheels. So of course, the hugely important part of any minivan is the rear storage area, and in the Sienna, there's lots to like about it. So first of all, you've got the foot release tailgate, so you just give it a quick little kind of boot underneath there and it opens. No need to sit there and do the can-can for it. This is a three-row vehicle, of course, being a minivan, and these rear seats are really cool. They're made of a super light plastic and they're super thin, so they're easy to deploy and fold. So there you go, do that, pull that, and there you go, and you're in. So there's your third row. Really easy to do. You've got a nice deep storage area underneath here once that's done. And you just put that, pull this, fold nice like that. It's a pretty flat load surface in there, not fully flat, but as we'll see in just a minute, there's plenty of room in there for a hockey bag, for example. So I've got the nice big adult-sized hockey bag there. Easy to throw in here. It's a low, it sits quite low, does the Sienna, just as most minivans do. So getting stuff in there is real easy. Nice and low, lift over, and that's fantastic, and then you just close it. And there you go. So lots of light back there. And of course, when the seats are deployed, you've got cup holders back there, ports back there, both USB-A, the old school full-size ones, and USB-C. My vehicle has an entertainment system that comes down from the roof, monitor that comes down from the roof. You can see that from the third row, so properly usable third row. One that's made even more usable by a very innovative second row, which I'm going to show you in just a second. So yes, great rear cargo area as we just saw. But before we make our way inside the vehicle, I have to show you how you get there, which is actually really quite cool in the new Sienna. Not only does it have a foot-activated tailgate, but it's got foot-activated sliding doors as well. Kick your foot under there, and there she goes, and in you throw your kid, or whatever, which is so great when your hands are loaded with a kid, maybe some shopping. You can just walk right up to it, kick your foot underneath it, and it'll slide open. Now, of course, if you don't want to do that, there's more traditional ways of doing it. There's a button in here that'll close it, or you can just tug on the handle like that, and there you go. So this is a really accessible vehicle, that's for sure. But then again, it's a minivan. If it's not accessible, then what is it, right? Let's have a look inside. So obviously we're looking at the second row now of the Sienna. It's got captain's chairs. You could slide the second row by flipping this lever here a huge amount. It's got to be like, there's like 2 or 3 feet of kind of slidability on here, and that gives you tons of leg room. I've got 2 child seats in here, a rear facing, forward facing, the rear facing, even that one, tons of room to pass by here. So nice wide passageway between, you can make your way to the third row that way. So I like the second row, really innovative, really smart, and tons of maneuverability through here as well, and tons of room. So nice job on that one. Of course, you've got the cup holders in the sliding door here. You've got a storage pocket down here on the side of that seat, and 2 cup holders right here as well, plus an HDMI port out here. And of course, you've got that, which is a display for your kids at the back, or who's going to sit in the back, and they can use your streaming device through here, so you can be streaming Netflix on your screen. I've got a Wi-Fi hotspot, streaming, you know, Paw Patrol on Netflix if you wanted to through that. So that's really clever. Really clever. Great seating area, great rear cargo area and passenger space in the 2021 Toyota Sienna. So as we turn now to the front seat of the 2021 Sienna, lots to like here in terms of storage and kind of creature comforts. First of all, you've got this great big storage area underneath the center console there, which is awesome. You can fit handbags in there. You can fit probably briefcases in there, smaller ones, all that kind of stuff. I love it, and it creates a sense of airiness into the cabin as a whole. If that's not enough storage for you, you've got this awesome, look at this thing. This thing's great, I love it. Oh, that's luxurious. That opens, that's nice and deep in there, which is really quite cool. You can fit probably a jug of milk in there without too much trouble. Plus you've got a couple of USB ports in there as well. So that's awesome. You know, you've got your big, huge display here, which we'll have a closer look at now. There you go. You got the big, huge, I think it's 9-inch display. There's your gauge cluster right there, which has a big TFT display in between as well. I like this shelf up here to put, you can put device right there. You can put devices on there and all that kind of stuff. Really quite a big shelf that's finished in this kind of faux wood grain in this limited model, which is kind of, I guess, is kind of cool. The glove box isn't huge, but does it really need to be when you have all this storage elsewhere in the cabin? I really like the cup holder setup as well. If you don't want these 2 back here, this closes nice and smooth, a great place to rest your arm. But there you go, and now you got 2 cup holders there, plus 2 cup holders there. I'm using this one because it's on the right-hand side of the shift lever, so it doesn't get in the way of my arm as this one would, as it would like this. Doesn't get in the way of my arm when I reach for the shift lever. That is a pet peeve of mine in this business, and so I'm glad I have the option here. Plus I've got door style cup holders as well on both sides, and wireless charging. So lots of cool storage up here. Seat moves back and forth with a huge, for a huge array of space, a huge range of motion, I should say, and that's fantastic. I also have the digital rearview mirror right there, which is great for, in minivans it's a big deal because a lot of times minivans, you might have tall people sitting behind you because there's a lot of room back there, and adults might actually make use of it from time to time. So they're sitting back there, maybe you're on a road trip, maybe you've piled up that cargo nice and high, in which case you'd be blocking a traditional rearview mirror. But this one here, you're not doesn't change anything at all because it's the same view out no matter what is in the way of it, what might be in the way of it, because the camera's on the outside of the vehicle. And the other bonus of this is that if you have multiple drivers in the car, which probably you do, you've got your seat memory there, which is fine, but you don't have, typically you don't have mirror memory in these. Wing mirrors you do, but not interior rearview mirrors. You don't need it with this because no matter what angle this mirror is at, as you can see, the view is always the same, so you're not having to constantly adjust it, and you can change it to a traditional mirror just by flipping what is traditionally the anti-glare switch there. One thing to mention, word of caution, at night in low lights, the digital is not spectacular. I found it to be quite grainy. I found it approaching traffic to look more like two globes of light coming at you at night, or if it's rainy or something like that at night, it's just not great. So that's when you want to use your traditional rearview mirror, which has an auto dimming feature built into it anyways, but during the day, good to use that one right there. So really cool front seating area for this. Great second row and great third row too. This is a proper family hauler, that's for sure. And let's be honest, that's what minivans are all about. Thanks for having a look at my interior and exterior walk around of the 2021 Toyota Sienna, and we'll see you guys next time. Thank you.